What is up, alphas? Welcome to our next alpha interview. Today we're going to be chatting with Stephanie from STEPH and WOOF, and she just showed us the coolest mug ever. Stephanie, you want to show them your awesome mug?
I love my
the
mug.
𝔬𝕗𝕚𝕝.
The ugly bean mug.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, no context. If you're new here, you got to go back and watch all of our videos to figure out the significance of that hideous ugly bean mug. But Stephanie, welcome to the alpha interview. Do you want to share with the audience what you create? I mean, you've got WOOF in the name, so obviously It's something doggy related.
Yes, right now I am doing, I started doing dog bandanas, but I'm expanding. Dog leashes. I'm going to be putting out some dog bows, anything dog related. I'm working on a line of dog dresses, and I've got some dog capes and little ponchos. So pretty much dog clothing is my niche.
Awesome. And you're in Ohio, right? You're a neighbor.
Yeah, I'm in Ohio. I know.
Awesome.
I'm up north. I'm in Toledo.
Oh, so you're in the cold part of Ohio.
Yes.
Still not that far away though.
No, not at all. We're
not
a
too
little
far.
Yeah, we're a little more down south.
Yep.
So I can't remember exactly when you joined HAA. Around what time was that?
It was June of 21.
Okay, so you haven't been in for very long then.
No, not at all. June of 21 is when I joined.
Awesome. And what made you decide to join?
Well, I wanted to really focus on what I'm going to be doing, my next chapter in my life. I worked insurance for over 20 years, and I knew the boss was going to retire. She was a wonderful person, and I knew that was happening. So I kind of wanted to prepare my next chapter. When she retired, I started working in two other insurance offices, and I guess I was spoiled with my old boss.
Oh,
it was an unethical situation, and I decided I cannot work for somebody that is not ethical. And I just thought, you know what, the time is now. I want to work for myself. I'm 52, going into my next phase of my life, and I've got my husband with the health insurance, so I'm not worried about that. So I could just dive in and really get going with what I want to do this time rather than work for somebody else.
that's awesome. That is so great too, that you have that ability. Because I know a lot of people, they get nervous about walking away from a sure thing, even if it doesn't line up with their ideals and their values. So being able to walk away from an unethical situation by choice and not just being motivated by, I'm missing out on that money, that says a lot about your character.
Yeah. So it was hard to walk away, but I just couldn't do it. Life
awesome.
is just too short.
No, I feel that.
That's great. So, obviously you make pet products. I know that we have a lot of alphas who also create pet related products. We've even got one alpha who has a full dog bakery in Hawaii, like a brick and mortar dog bakery.
Oh, wow.
Do you have any unique challenges that come with running your business? Because dog owners are crazy about their dogs. Like, we're crazy about our dog. Amber Marie, obviously, she does artwork for dogs, and her customers are crazy about their dogs.
Mm-hmm.
So what's it like running your business?
Well, it's interesting you bring that up, because when I first started was during the pandemic. So that summer, I really got out my sewing machine that was hidden away in a closet and started sewing, and everything was closed down, so I didn't have access to fabric stores. So I'm a big vintage lover. I love vintage. I have tons of vintage clothing. So I started cutting up vintage clothing and making my bandanas from that. That's what I wanted to do. I thought, I'll make these wonderful bandanas, unique, upcycled. And I found out that after working with HAA, especially, I think it was module 2 that really helped me. I was selling what I wanted to sell, but I wasn't selling to what my target market wanted. I could tell that they wanted, when I did the research with, other shops like mine, the trendy, cute, things like that was really what was selling. And also I found out through HAA that I needed to come up with a product that was repeatable. So I was making one-offs, which maybe one or two of the same, and that, that's not going to go anywhere. I needed to come up with ways I could make something that I could, repeat over and over. And I didn't know that that's what Etsy liked until joining HAA. I found that out very quickly. So that was, I guess, the challenge is adapting and be willing to adapt to what your target market really wants rather than what you want to sell.
Yeah. And, so many people, they get so married to their original ideas and what they want to do, but it's a big business moves to separate yourself from that and be able to create products that they actually want and that you've researched. So through that experience, though, I mean, you don't have, I assume, any regrets, making what the people want rather than, making the designs that you originally did, right?
Right. Not at all. It's really nice too, because I order from other Etsy shops. I try to do business with small business owners. Most of my fabric is from a small shop, actually, that's in California. And the quality is just amazing. A lot of it's, Japanese imported fabric. So I don't have any problem with that at all. Just adapting to what sells. And actually one of my top sellers, which I had no intention of, it just I kind of stumbled upon this fabric and I got it, and it was United States Marine Corps. So now I'm doing a military line, and that is actually my top seller.
Awesome.
Which I would have never guessed that.
Yeah. Sometimes those trends pop up in areas that you've never expected.
Most of the time it's something that you never expect.
Yeah.
Almost always.
So obviously you're a newer shop.
Yes.
You haven't been, running your business for like 10 years or anything like that. And you started during that Etsy pandemic wave that we always talk about, where a lot of new sellers jumped on the platform because there were so many buyers on the platform at that time. And now things are kind of starting to go back to normal. Have you noticed any impact on traffic to your business just since the pandemic wave has kind of started to slow down?
Actually, I feel like for me, it's the opposite, because when I kind of first started, I had the intention of really jumping in, giving it my all. And I joined in June, and then we decided life happens, and that's another thing I love about HAA is you can go at your own pace. I had to stop for a while. We sold our house. We moved to an apartment that was just too, we needed to get into another house, and the market was crazy. So there was a lot of moving around, a lot of things in storage. So it was really, really hard to concentrate on my Etsy shop. So I did not really get going, I would say until the end of that year. And, just really, I really feel like I'm seeing a bigger increase in sales now.
That's cool though, because it means that all of the effort that you've put in is showing results. And we've heard that actually a lot as well, where some people on Etsy are saying like, oh, it's the slowest it's ever been. I'm not making any sales at all. But then we've got the sellers who are like, no, actually it's doing pretty well right now. So I think that it's just all about where you're putting your time and making sure that you're constantly moving and you're never sitting still. There's this business quote that I really like, and I've been told by like science nuts that it's actually not true, but I still like the quote, and it's that if a shark is always moving forward, and if it stops moving, then it's dead. Like, you have to constantly be moving and adapting. Otherwise, your business just kind of dies because it's just crickets. So
I don't know if it's true or not.
Yeah. So he's thinking about the scientific side. He's like, I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's so true. And I have all these, big visions and plans, and it's just taking the time. Time management is a struggle for me. So it's just taking the time to really, make what I want to make some new collections. I've got a birthday line coming up I'm excited about. So, it's great. It's been great, but you're absolutely right. You can't stay stagnant. You got to keep going forward.
That's awesome. And I love that you keep saying collections, because I think that that's one of the most underutilized, things that businesses can do. And obviously it's a big part of HAA. I just did that whole part of HAA. So it's fresh in my brain. But how do you feel the marketability of your brand has been since implementing products in collections and actually theming those items?
Oh, I think the build up, I'm trying to build up the social media part, trying to get some followers, and just trying to build my email list, the anticipation of a collection. And I think that people get excited about that. If they've bought from you in the past, hopefully they'll save you as a seller. And I hear that a lot. I'll come back and buy more. And so it's just offering something new, changing up your inventory, getting new things out there. I think that it's, definitely good to change things up and get some new items out there.
Yeah. And the collection launches, it makes things just so much more marketable, where you're not having to worry about what do I do? What do I do today? What do I do tomorrow? I think I'm going to add something to my shop today.
Right.
Let me market that thing real quick.
It guarantees that you have the ability to market off of something. You've got a backlog of what you're going to be able to talk about. So you're not having to rush to come up with content.
Absolutely. And as I always say, if you're planning content, day of, then you've got more time on your hands than I do, because that planning content day of is exhausting. So your social media is probably new as well, since your shop is newer. Mm-hmm. How is your growth on social been? Because I believe that I follow you on the Handmade Alpha Instagram. Uh-huh. Do I? Yeah. Okay. I'm pretty sure that I've seen your posts in my feed. I'm pretty sure that I favorited some. But how's growth on Instagram been in particular?
I struggle. I'm not gonna lie. I struggle with Instagram, being consistent on Instagram. And I started a TikTok. That's a struggle for me. But, I'm learning. I have seen some growth on Instagram, and I've actually gotten customers through Instagram, which is exciting, that they find me through Instagram. And I actually just completed a custom order for somebody that is in Canada, and she's going to an art show, and her dog is going to be in the art show as well. And she needed something for that. So I just did a custom order for her. So that was very exciting that she found me, through Instagram. And I do definitely need to be consistent. I can see where the days that I'm posting and engaging, I can see the growth, definitely see the growth when I take action.
Yeah. And, our primary demographic is ages 45 to 65.
I think 45 to 65.
45 to 65. And I think that there's a unique challenge with this primary demographic, simply because a lot of people are afraid to put themselves out there on social media. Whereas, when we're working with alphas who are in their, 20s to 30s, they're like, oh no, I've been on MySpace, my whole life, and they have no problem with it. Have you found that it gets easier as you go with your social media versus maybe the first time that you posted?
Absolutely. I definitely agree with that. The more you do it, the more comfortable you get. It's like you gotta get out of your comfort zone. You gotta get out of your shell. Just put yourself out there, and you worry more about yourself than others do, and they're not gonna notice little mistakes, and they're very forgiving, and and you just got to do it. You just got to jump in and do it. I am not a technical person. I struggle. And so I struggle with, how do I put this out there, and learning all the things. It's definitely a challenge for me. Whereas the younger generation, that's what they grew up with, But yeah, once you get started, it gets easier, a lot easier. The more you put yourself out there.
So through all of this, do you have any tools, anything that you really, really rely on for your business that you feel like every business owner should be utilizing when it comes to either their shop or photo editing or social media? Is there anything that you just use that is like your go-to?
Well, a couple of things come to mind. Canva is one thing that I use just recently, and I found out from you. So I would watch your Canva tutorials and learn how to do that. Like I said, I am not technical. I'm not good with things like that with programs. So I use Canva a lot. And Photo Room, I love Photo Room. I struggle with what should be my background. If, I know Etsy likes and Google likes the crisp white, but then I feel like my photos look better with some of my other photos with the brown little basket behind it. Just add some things to it, but definitely Photo Room is great. And of course, my agenda, my book, I try to get myself organized beginning of the week, write down my goals, what I want to do. I don't always get to my goals or what I intend to do, but at least I have one place where I can go to. It's not on the computer. I'm old school. Like I said, it's my paper and pencil. I have to be able to grab that and see it. So those are the really 3 tools that I like the most.
I love that.
Planning with my agenda, and then messing around in Canva, trying to create in Canva and in Photo Room for my photos. And I did notice too, this is another thing that I learned from you, is the outdoor photos look so much better. The natural light looks so much better than when and we're in Ohio. So, we get a lot of gray skies, dark, real dark afternoons. Definitely the outdoor photos.
And in your shop, of all of your photos, my favorite photo is the photo that has the dog, where it's outdoor and there's trees in the background. That's my favorite one out of all of them, because my eyes immediately go and I'm like, oh my God, dog. So,
is it the stuffed plush dog or my real dog, my Gizmo?
The real dog.
Okay, Gizmo. Yeah. He doesn't. He's funny. He's a little stinker. I mean, when Chihuahuas, you can't, I couldn't train my Chihuahua. So I struggle with him in pictures. So I try to get a shot when I can.
Yeah, that's Itty just passed away, but we had her
sorry.
Oh, that's okay. We had her so long. She was a 16-year-old Chihuahua, but I loved her. Dumbest little dog I've ever owned. And I think that it played into her personality, though, because she was just our little, it reminded me of a baby, Yeah. I loved her to death.
But,
yeah, absolutely. So now that we're nearing the end of the interview, we've asked all alphas to kind of answer the same question, which is if you were talking to somebody who is interested in joining HAA, and maybe they're nervous about the commitment, the time commitment. Maybe they're in a similar industry as you, where it is a very highly saturated niche, obviously. Yes. But, what would you tell someone like this based on your experiences of the program?
Okay, I would say absolutely no doubt in my mind, after joining HAA, 100%, just go for it. Save the money, save up for it. If you can't do it now, grab it in December, absolutely, or June or December. The amount of time that you and Mark put into the preparation, the planning, everything I have learned, all the knowledge, all the years of your experience is just so valuable. And to package it like you do, and it's you cannot go wrong. If you follow it, it's step by step. you just got to put in the action and be consistent. But if you have a dream, you know, invest in yourself. It's worth every penny and so much more. I mean, HAA has been extremely, extremely helpful to me. And I wish I had more time to commit to it, but I'm going to get back to it. I haven't finished all the modules. I've got a couple left, but it's just been amazing. No doubt in my mind. If you put the time and the effort and the consistency, you just got to do it. It's been amazing.
That's awesome.
And one other thing, I have, purchased a program from somebody else. This was when I lived in Dallas, and it was 3 times the cost of yours. No support. I bought a book and a manual. It wasn't related to Etsy at all, but no support whatsoever. With HAA, you are always there. Your group in the Facebook group is always there. The positivity with the people. I've met so many amazing people through HAA. It's just like we're one big family, and I love it.
Oh.
I just can't say enough about this positive bunch of people. They're amazing. You guys are amazing.
We've worked really hard to make it that way, and we're glad that that's the perception.
Absolutely. That's so awesome. And I'm glad that you said to save up. That's one of the big things that we're always, we're big on. Like, for those who can't afford it now, it's not going anywhere. It opens twice a year, and it opens the exact. I mean, you've got the dates memorized. You remember when it opens.
Yeah, I had to wait. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like clockwork. It's always going to be there. But Stephanie, thank you so much for hanging out, guys. Stephanie's links are going to be down below. You can check out Stephen Woof. We'll go ahead and put her Etsy shop, and I'll toss her Instagram down there as well, so you can follow her over there.
All right.
Thank you for hanging out. And
thank you so much for having me. It was just such a pleasure. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. All right.